Destined Rivals is insane. The demand for it is unmatched. Product is flying off the shelves. People are still hunting. They're going to everywhere just to find it, and as soon as they find it, they buy all of it. The demand for Pokemon is just not going away. What's up, guys and girls? I'm Hungrymon, and we're gonna take a look at Destined Rivals and see how the market is doing. It's Sunday right now. We're 2 days after the release. It released on Friday, so it's only been 2 days. All right, but even after 2 days, when the market just opens up and everyone gets all the product, usually how it used to work was there'd be crashes like immediately, right? So let's go and take a look and see what's going on, right? So turn this around. This is the first time I've like shared my screen, but basically how what we're doing here is we're just gonna see how the market of Destined Rivals is doing. So as you can see here, the big boy, the booster box. All right, this is what I kind of use as like my barometer to know. Okay, this is how everyone is thinking about the set. This is how everyone enjoys the set. So just looking at this, right? Look at Destined Rivals booster box. The current market price is 255. All right. Now, this is a big deal, and it's a big deal because when we were right before you know Destined Rivals release, like the week of, even the week before, it was selling at 270 a box. Okay, 270 for a booster box on before release. Now pre-sale prices are definitely much higher. Don't get me wrong, right? You're going to be paying a huge premium for buying something off TCG Player to get the product guaranteed. Supposedly it's a pre-sale, right? And so you're locking yourself in. Now, the thing to do if you don't want to spend an enormous amount of money is to wait until it releases, because how TCG Player works is during pre-sales, only brick and mortar verified stores on TCG Player are allowed to do pre-sales. So, third party sellers that don't have a brick and mortar, online only stores, they aren't allowed to do pre-sales on TCG Player. So a very small market share of stores are allowed to do these pre-sales. So they're allowed to charge these high prices because they're the only ones on the market. And so booster boxes are flying, for 270. So like if we looked here, April to the beginning of May, 240 boxes sold. This is basically a month before the release. 240 sold a month ago. Okay, and as we get closer to the release date, here we're literally a week before the release date. 300 boxes sold just a week before the release date, and it sold at 262 basically. Okay, that's only $8 lower than a month before. Okay, so when we're talking about how crazy a set is, when we're talking about how crazy the demand is for a set, there's absolutely a huge demand for this set at this point, because until we hit the official release date on May 30th, for Destined Rivals, no one else can sell this product on TCG Player. And when we're talking, 300 boxes selling a week before, just on TCG Player, okay? This isn't like pre-orders like anywhere else, just on this marketplace. It's crazy. It's crazy. So when people say that Pokemon is in a bubble or the demand is artificial, it's just not true. It's not true at all. The demand is definitely here, and these prices are real. So, as we're talking about, where are the prices at, and are we in a bubble, and are people just, manipulating this stuff? It's not. It's all real. So now we're here at the release date, right? So May 30th, June 1st, right? If we were to look at, okay, boxes were selling at 262, okay, now we're on the release date where the market opens up, right? Market opens up. 700 boxes sell. Average 254 a box, okay? 254. That's only another $8 off of the day before, like, pre-sale, like the week before pre-sale, probably maybe a couple days before pre-sale ends. And man, insane, insane. 255 a box, okay? And when we're looking at this, we're comparing it to whatever MSRP prices is, right? Because everyone's like, oh, MSRP, this is like what it should be at, right? So 161 and like 64 cents or something. I don't know. My math is probably off, but like that's what it, that's what we would be comparing it to. So we're selling it more than like $80 than MSRP, and more than double sold the day of release at this price point. Just $8 less than like these sales a week ago, or close. Yeah, but yeah, basically a week ago. The demand is insane, absolutely insane. And so, if I were to show you what it was like a year ago, because I talked about how no one really cared about Pokemon like a year ago, right? Let's go to Twilight Masquerade. All right. So about a year ago, right? So I think so. Twilight Masquerade, it actually released around the same time. Like we're talking like May 24th of last year, right? So this would be a good comparison to draw to. So Twilight Masquerade, sure. So market price right now is 240 a box. Look at this graph. This graph is unbelievable. Look at this growth, right? So here, this is like TCG player only lets you see like the 1 year snapshot, right? So 1 year snapshot back in June. Okay, this is like a week or two after the release of Twilight Masquerade. It was selling at 106 a box. Okay, that's insane. Remember, MSRP's 161. This is selling for under $60 MSRP basically, which is a steal. Okay, and back then, like, no one wanted to pay $100 for a booster box. It was so hard. It was so hard to sell anything back then. It was crazy. It was crazy, right? Only until like Prismatic Evolutions came out did the Pokemon craze really take off. Like crazy, crazy, like insane, right? So it just goes to show like how much people want Pokemon now. It's it's just so unbelievable to see all of this just change just in a year. Um, you know, Now if you bought, Twilight Masquerade at $100, and now you're looking at the market price $140, you've more than doubled your initial purchase, and you're happy. Congrats if you bought Twilight Masquerade at $100. Like, that's amazing. So yeah, like, and this is where we're at now. People just want it so much. Like, boxes are still selling every day. We're selling, upwards hundreds of boxes a day. The demand's not going anywhere anytime soon. Like, that's just where we're at right now. Boxes are flying off the shelves. You can't find them. Like, look at the ETB, right? We look at the ETB. ETBs, I think MSRP is like $50, right? So this is selling for almost double MSRP. Now, ETBs in terms of sealed product, right? ETBs don't appreciate as much as booster boxes, in the long run. So I don't necessarily use this as like my measure of like how good a set is, but if we're looking holistically at the whole set, this is still insanely good on release, because Just look at, if we were to draw the same comparison, pre-sales for this was at 117, and now, that was like a month ago, and now we're still at $96 for an ETB. Okay, that's about $20 off of the set release, and almost 900 ETBs sold for an ETB, which is like 40. This is like $46 over MSRP, and it just goes to show, like, it doesn't really matter what price bracket you're in. If you're in to buy a booster bundle, or if you're in to buy an ETB, or you're in to buy a booster box, everything everything is wanted, you know because like there are people out there that, oh, I only like buy booster boxes, or oh, I only buy ETBs because there's only so much I can afford. But everything is just so crazy. Everyone wants this stuff, right? So if we were to talk about how well Destined Rivals is doing, it's definitely going to go down as one of those sets that's super hot and super desired. And usually when it comes to, how the entire era is doing, so the Scarlet and Violet era, and just eras in Pokemon, usually Pokemon drops the bangers at the end of a set, right? So, if you remember Sword and Shield, the last couple of sets was like, Astral Radiance, Silver Tempest, right? Crown Zenith, right? All of these like banger sets, Lost Origin. That's when all of this stuff gets really hype. Everyone gets back into the collecting again because there's ups and downs, right? People don't have the money anymore, or they get interested in something else, and so they move on, and they forget about Pokemon. But now we're here again, where everything is so exciting. We've got Giovanni back. We've got Cynthia here. Misty's in here. We got really cool Pokemon. And I'm just looking at sealed products, right? And if we were to look at the singles, right? Like how are the singles doing for Destined Rivals? Let's look at like, high to low, right? Just look at these cards, okay? People love these cards. Like, look at Mewtwo, look at Giovanni. And it's there's not, singles are a different story, right? But things are moving. This card is selling, and it's selling at $324, which is absolutely insane. And we only have, 27 listings of this card. The pull rates on Destined Rivals are about the same as Journey Together. If you don't know, Destined Rivals pull rates, right? TCG Player posted the pull rates here, so we've got, you know, that data that we can take a look at, and just like looking at the Mewtwo that we're trying to pull, right? Getting a SIR is 1 out of 94 pulls, right? 1 out of 94 packs, okay? And a booster box only has 36 packs. So we're talking we have to open more than 2 booster boxes just to get a chance at an SIR. And with the prices of sealed product, with the way that it is, opening 94 packs is an insane price point, right? Just to get the Mewtwo. So do I think that these cards are worth their cost right now? I mean, with just how the supply is and how the demand is, these prices are pretty legit. The pull rates are pretty hard. And maybe in the future when, we hopefully get a Destined Rivals reprint because of how popular it is, we'll see what happens. I mean, I hope they reprint this set because this set's super cool. I would love to have more of it. These prices are probably going to stay pretty strong. Maybe this card could be, it might drop to maybe 250, maybe, but I really don't see it dropping all that much with how tough these pull rates are. And we can look at, Cynthia's Garchomp, right? Like, look at Cynthia's Garchomp. It's $200. and it's a beautiful card. Look at this. Like Garchomp is destroying the ground, and Cynthia is like commanding it. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a crazy card. And yeah, I mean, we've only got 11 items sold. We've got 34 listings, but like $200 for this card, that's expensive. Like these cards are expensive. But man, they're tough to pull. They're tough to pull. Again, this card would probably drop to like 150 maybe, assuming like we get more supply, or people just don't care about this card. But these SIRs are going to be tough to pull. Like look at the Ho-Oh, look at the Moltres. Like these SIRs, they're just not easy. And something that always baffles me is these hyper rares, right? If you look at the hyper rares, the gold rares, it's the pull rates on them are awful. You have to open 149 booster packs just to get a chance of pulling one hyper rare. But if we look at the prices for hyper rares, right? They're nowhere close to the SIRs. So, maybe people don't really value the gold rares as much as the SIRs. And I get it. The SIRs are super cool. They look amazing, right? But there's just not much of these hyper rares out there. So if you look at these prices, like the Team Rocket's Mewtwo hyper rare, gold rare, at $57 market price, and the Cynthia's Garchomp at $34 market price, that's really cheap. That's really affordable. Those would be really great pieces to add to your collection if you like, the hyper rare cards. And again, people aren't as excited. That's why the prices aren't as high for them. People really like the special illustration rares. But for the rates to be what they are, and for the prices to only be what they are, that's really cheap. So if you're looking for some really cool cards to get at a more affordable cost, because I think these cards are pretty cool. I think people undervalue them a lot. These cards are really cool. I think later down the line, people are really going to enjoy the gold rares, and they probably won't be as expensive as the SIRs. I'll be honest, but I think they're really cool. So I think people are missing out on these gold rares. I think these are really good prices to get them at. As people open up more product, as we get more that get released into the market, the prices are only going to go up from here, right? Or, well, sorry, they're only going to go down from here because we're going to get more of them, right? So if I were you and you couldn't wait, sure, go for it. Get these gold rares now. But these will probably get cheaper by a little bit because, right, they're harder to pull. There's not going to be a lot of them. But I'd say these prices are pretty good. If they go down further, that'd be even better, But I would definitely get a couple of these cards, especially like the Crobat and stuff. Like, man, it's so cool. Like, these cards are so cool. People are sleeping on gold rares. That's just my opinion. But these SIRs, man, they're going to be tough. They're going to be tough. If you want to get SIRs added to your collection, you're definitely going to be paying a premium for them because everyone wants them. I personally think the Crobat is amazing. I love the Crobats. You see all the Zubat, the Golbats, the Crobats in the background. I personally love that Crobats, just his face is straight up in the front of the card and he looks angry. Kind of got that, dark Crobat vibe to it. So I personally love this card. It may not be, the best SIR to pull, right? Mewtwo and Garchomp are way cooler, but man, I just love the overall look of this card. Maybe it's because I'm a Gengar fan and he's kind of purple, but I've never been too crazy on Crobat, but that card looks really cool to me. So yeah, this just goes to show that Destined Rivals is hype, Destined Rivals is in demand, and Pokemon in general is not going anywhere. Now, what does that say for the future? So the next set coming out is White Flare Black Bolt, and that comes out, I think, like mid-July or something. And I'm not trying to be a doomer, but I do want to give a heads up that that set is going to be really tough. It's a special set. It's and it's short printed. We got our allocations for it, and man, does it look not good. Um, we're not gonna get. We're getting barely anything, and people are happy because they're actually finding Destined Rivals. And I think Pokemon did a really good job of getting a good supply of Destined Rivals printed and out there so that, you know, people can find it. They're doing a really good job. Um, but I feel like Black Bolt and White Flare is not going to be what people are expecting. Um, you know, people are happy that they're able to find more Destined Rivals, but it's looking grim for Black Bolt and White Flare. So we've got a lot to get through before we see the market calm down and supply to really catch up to demand here. Because unless the demand goes away, the prices are going to be astronomical. And yeah, and you know, I'm sorry that yeah, I'm kind of ending the video on a negative, on a downer, but just giving you a heads up. Be prepared, buckle up, because Black Bolt and White Flare, it's gonna get crazier, and the prices are gonna be higher. So just be prepared for that. Don't be disappointed, but most importantly, don't FOMO, because you know you only have so much money to spend on this hobby, and you want to get as much for your money as you can because you worked hard for your money. So we probably won't have Black Bolt and White Flare to sell just because we barely have any. um, but you know, other people will have it, hopefully for MSRP. Definitely, if you can get it, definitely try to get it. We'll have JP. We'll have JP, Japanese Black Bolt White Flare. You can buy that from us. That comes out next week. So that's exciting. It's so busy right now. But yeah, um, just be prepared. But definitely, it's exciting times for Pokemon right now. We've got incredible Pokemon, incredible art, uh, incredible looking sets, and I'm excited for what's to come. So thanks, guys, for watching. Hope you have a good day. Uh, if you like the video, like, just tell me your thoughts. Tell me your thoughts of Destined Rivals. What you think of the set? Did you open it? Did you find it? Did you get it at a good price? Yeah, just comment down below and let me know what your thoughts on Pokemon Destined Rivals. Just how everything's going. And yeah, subscribe to me if you like the video, and let me know if there's anything you want me to talk about or that I can do better. We sell Japanese Pokemon cards, bsgtcg.com. We would sell English if we had any, but hopefully we'll have some in the future. So take a look. All right. Thanks, guys. Take care.